First of all, hi guys. Today with us Alex and Alex too. This is the podcast which called Człowiek dzieła. Powiem troszeczkę po polsku. Dzisiaj nagrywamy na Barber Night, podcast z bardzo znanym prowadzącym Alexem. Przyjechał do nas dzisiaj pokazać swoje umiejętności, pogadać o barberingu w Europie i nie tylko. Opowie swoją historię i przede wszystkim nauczy was, jak prowadzić barber w Polsce i w Europie, zarabiając 10-15 tysięcy dolarów. Jedziemy. Hello, Alex.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm glad that you come here and we'll talk about barbering in Europe, barbering in industry, barbering in heart.
Yeah.
First of all, tell us about yourself. What your history, how you became a barber, why you decide to be a barber, and what barbering provide you in your life?
Good question. I'll be here for an hour now, but on a quick summary, I started off at 17 years old, and I was always passionate about hair. When I was young, I used to go to a salon and pay $100 for a haircut because when I go to the barber, they only knew how to fade, and I felt like there was a lot more that I wanted from my hair. You know, I would look at it like celebrities like Justin Bieber, Beckham, and I would want those hairstyles, but every time I went to the barber, I was disappointed.
Okay.
So at like 15, 14, I found passion in wanting to get really expensive haircuts from stylists, more in the salon.
Okay.
So I feel like that's kind of where my journey started. I used to always like go on YouTube and watch YouTube videos of like the best product lines, Slick Hard TV. I don't know if you know those names.
I know.
Those are like the big guys in the industry. Kochi, back in the day.
This guy.
And funny enough, I got to meet him a couple months ago. So it's crazy how that works. So yeah, that's kind of where the journey started. At 17, I decided to go into barber school in Canada, and that's kind of the path of my journey. So it took about 5 years of getting my ass kicked before I got decently good. But to start my story, what people don't sometimes realize is that I was like one of the worst barbers ever. Like people look at me now, they're like, Alex, you're a creative, you're an artist, like, you have all this talent, but what people don't actually know, and this is why I truly believe in the story of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, which is like, it's just repetitiveness and like consistency and just like working at it every day. For 5 years, I used to go back home at midnight because I would practice so often. But the reason why I say this is because I literally had clients when I started in my journey want to kick my ass because of how bad the haircuts were. I had like 2 guys literally at 17 years old. Imagine this young kid, 35-year-old man, get up and want to hit me because of how bad my haircuts were.
It's usual in Poland.
Is it the same? Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
At least this is the first time I hear that.
It's usual.
I'm glad at least now it makes me feel a little bit better.
Every time when clients is not
satisfied,
and not agree with what you provide in haircut for him, we try to use some techniques like this is in trend.
Oh, really?
And he said,
when the haircut's bad. Yeah.
And he said, really? Yeah, this is trend, natural, fresh haircut.
I wish I was smart enough to use that as an excuse.
It was super tactic and work right now.
It works,
very
yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
So your history is like you're starting a haircut because you love it, because you have a passion, because you understanding that this type of culture is growing, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. You see, back then, though, it wasn't that popular. Barbering wasn't that popular. It was my close friend that I used to go for haircuts, he was the one that brought it up to me. And I asked him initially, right? There was a period of my time in my life where I was like lost at that age, 17 years old. You don't really know what you want. And I was like, okay, well, what about barbering? I kind of asked the question, and he's like, yeah, do it, but do the opposite of me. I'm like, what do you mean do the opposite of me? He goes, go to school for it. See, back then, a lot of barbers, I'm sure maybe it's the same here, they would learn from YouTube, and then they would just start cutting hair. There was never a level of education before they start cutting hair.
Okay, but you were starting from some school?
School, yeah.
Which
but
one?
To be honest, the school was bullshit.
As usual?
As usual, yeah.
Usual.
It was, and the reason why is because the educators did not care about cutting. They just wanted a paycheck, and that was it. They want stability, and that's kind of what happened, right?
For example, I will give you example. In Poland, we have a barber school which provide 3 years, from 2 to 3 years, and these women and the guys who are really don't understand how they must took the knives or how the
clippers
Xerox
and scissors,
and something like this. They come to us and kindly ask, can you teach me from zero? This is the reality which we have in Poland and in Europe. Every school, like government school, I don't say about school primacy.
Government with the licensing.
Yes, they provide. Believe me, I have one example of student which come to us to academy, which starting course from zero after finish this academy governments, and he cannot even take Xerox in hand.
Well, that's why I say it's bullshit, because this is the wording I like to use. They don't set you up for success.
Yes.
A school is supposed to set you up for success, to then when you go to the real world, at least you have the tools. And when I say tools, I don't mean the actual tools, the tools of the mind to be able to actually cater to the clients and actually give a service, right? But imagine you pay all this money and you spend all this time and you still aren't ready to go work at a barbershop.
Yeah.
So the reality was I had this big ego, right? And the big ego was because, okay, I have this paperwork now that no barber has because they're all YouTube barbers. Yeah. But the reality is the YouTube barbers ended up learning a lot more than I did in the school. But because I had that paperwork, I'm like, I'm the man, I'm the shit. And then I go to the Cuban barbershop and I get my ass handed to me, right? And
they show you how it's working.
Yes. And I realized how bad I was, right? So I had to go to school twice.
Wow, it's ridiculous history, my friend. Okay, second question, it's about your next move when you understanding that barbering is in your heart, in your mind. You starting to provide your own way. Yeah? Let's talk about your own way in barbering. Every barbers which I speak before and I see in internet, in for example American, in Latinas, very good Latinas barbers too. They provide their own style. You know Pacinos. You know these guys which created their own cosmetics, their own brands, and what your ways in barbering?
Are you talking about, are we speaking about a barber that found passion and you're asking if they should, like, what would be the next step for them? Is that what you're asking, or are you talking about me?
I'm talking just personally about you. You finish some courses, you understanding how to cut. Yeah. Which way you decide to go and why? Okay,
so let's just say fast track. I finished school now, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. It was only till a few years later, I was still lost. I was like, okay, I need to get better at cutting hair. But I realized that there was a gap in the market in North America, and the gap in the market in North America is that barbers don't know how to use scissors. Okay. That's when I found Menspire. So I found Menspire on Instagram. I flew down to London, and that's when my journey really started of like becoming a known talent in North America.
Okay. And after understanding your wave, you starting to teach somebody. You already understanding that you are educator, or you work some couple of times in some barbershop, for example, to grow up your skills, or you already understanding that you are educator.
No, so the education part took a while. So it was only a few years later I started wanting to become an educator, and it was like how it started. It was always a passion of mine, because when I went to Menspire, I saw kids my age. This is the reason why I became an educator, selfishly, was when I was in Menspire, I saw 18, 19-year-olds teaching on stages and being very confident. Back home, when me as a person, I'm an introvert naturally, and I'm someone that's not really confident. And whenever there was ever presentations in high school, I would shy away from them. I wouldn't do them. And so when I saw this, I was like, well, maybe this is a way for me to figure out how to remove this fear, because I could use hair as the passion to be able to present myself. So out of selfishness, I wanted to just become a better speaker, but also become confident in my own skin when it comes to presentations. So that's kind of how that journey started. Okay,
the question will be, and the next question will be like, you understanding that you are educator and you want to give this knowledge which you have to other people, to young people, which you were, was the same, but you understand that this is good business, yeah? You all your podcast, all your material in internet, looking like that you provide the young men, the passion of these young men to money. This is true, or it's just like we understanding your mindset? You all provide to money. You say in your podcast and few podcasts that you're teaching people to earn $10,000-15,000 per month.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, my friend. It's fucking bullshit. In Polish, $10,000-15,000 per month barbers can earn if he not eating, not sleeping, and no pee-pee. In Poland, we have a currency like 1 per 4, yeah, for example, $2. But for example, 10,000-15,000 zlotys in Poland, barber, it's like $4,000 per month, earn very quality barber, very quality, $4,000. And you say in your material, in your education material, you say, I will teach you how to earn 10,000-15,000. My man, it's look like Andrew Tate. I will earn and teach you how to make money from the air. Yeah, of course, make my subscription. Tell me about this.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the truth, right? The market is very different in different countries, right? Like Poland is not the same as America.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I've said this to the class yesterday. At the end of the day, like 10,000-15,000 is relative to where you're at, right? You can't charge $100 in Poland, but you could still charge, $60, $70. I truly believe that. And the reason why I say this is because at the end of the day, people in Poland are still going to the bars and restaurants and spending $100. The problem is like a lot of barbers internationally, or this isn't just a Polish issue, is that they're all catering to each other. What do I mean by that? Is like they're looking at their competition and they're looking at their price point and they're trying to match that, rather than finding a way and a strategy to separate themselves from everyone and showing the value that they're different. And that comes down to the marketing, right? Because they're all kind of looking the same. The goal is, how do you stand out so you could cater to clients that are willing to pay that? Because at the end of the day, clients, it's $100 is not like impossible for someone to pay.
Yeah.
The truth is, it's possible,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just have to find people that are willing to see the value that they're willing to pay that.
Okay.
That's the
Okay, understanding this. This is a good position for you, but the truth is that in barbering, as you say too, coming the youngest people. So the barber for me, it's like 18, 25, maybe something like this. I have a couple of executes when some guy come in 40 years and some granny come in 61 years to study barbering to our academy, yeah? And this is executes, and I think the normal age of this starting is like 18, 25, something like this. And you say right now to our customers, to our future students that, okay, guys, you must create yourself own way, yeah? But you provide this. You like a teacher. You remember the young time when you was in school, just high school or something like this, and you come to a lesson. Why you come to lesson? Because first of all, you love the teacher. Because she's beauty, she teach you good, she provides you information to your head exactly what the waves you have with this teacher, or you must come. And right now I see this executes in Poland, for example, that guys look for the teenager in the same age like them, and they say, okay, he's barber, he's rich, he can buy the car, he can buy the good clothes, he can go to restaurant every day, because this is the true. If you work barber, you have free time when you finish your clients, and they see this trend and have a stereotypes, yeah, in their head. If I start to barbering and if I start to education something, I will be the same popular, the same, I will charge the same amount as this guy, and come to industry and see, okay, what the fuck? In first year, I earn $500 per month. In second year, I earn $1,000 per month. Where is my money? Where is this gold? Where is this treasure which you talk in your podcast, in your material? Where is this treasure? This is the main question for the youngest people who come to barbering. Where they can find this treasure?
Well, the truth is, at the end of the day, I stand true to this. Look, when I say 10, 15,000, I still believe there's a journey to get to that point. And that's why what we do is very different from a lot of the other courses, which is we teach the skill set. You can't go and sell a shitty product and expect to make that money. You need to get good at what you do so you can show your value through your marketing. The first step for the gold, for you to say, is to become really good. the gold comes from your talent first. Be able to actually know what you're doing, cater to a different type of clientele, right? Because you can't just learn how to do fades. And that's where, when I talk about the marketing stuff, I'm talking about America mostly because that's where the issues stand. I'm not too sure about Poland and the industry and like the talent here, but it seems like a lot of people are versatile. Like a lot of barbers in Poland know how to fade, but they also know how to use scissor work, right?
Yeah.
So, but for the new guys coming into the industry, what I would say to them is one, learn from people that have versatility. Learn from the best of the best in Poland. And then what I would say is like, start knowing how to use different marketing strategies to stand out, which is what we teach. Now, the truth is, I don't think in Poland you can make that much, but you could absolutely make a lot more than what they think they can make. That I truly believe in.
So the main point of your teaching in your, for example, academy, it's making the unicorn in the industry and choosing their own way, which not based on skills, but based on marketing. Both?
Yeah.
Tell me, because we have
you can't have one or the other. You can have good marketing, but bad haircuts.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Right now, for example, in Warsaw, it's nearly 1,600 barbershop.
Okay.
1,600. The quality of 80% these barbershops, it's like bullshit, level 2 bullshits. The barbers, they call it barbers, just take the shield, the name of salons. For example, it was haircut by Alexi. They rename it for Barber Alexi, charge it for their service more money, but the service, the quality is ridiculous bad. And my next question, I provide you to my next question. What do you think is this problem in barbering right now, that hairdresser, hair masters change their own setup to
make it look like mine too.
To barbers, or they just try to hide their soft poor skills and provide their prices more higher and charge more higher, but nothing growing. This is what I'm look right now on the market.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, you can't control people. Like, what I would say is like, what can you really do? Like, how is that really affecting you as the individual, right?
We can help this market.
You could help the market?
Yes, we cannot help. We can help this market.
Hells?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We can give a new opportunity, a new line of living the barbering in Europe. Because you see, in American, in Latinos, there is someone, I think so, maybe our customers don't agree with me, but I think in American and Latino, we see the one way going, how it's growing. Yeah, the barbers starting to work. For example, in some barbers, in some nearing corner, they provide their skill, then they understanding that they have one way to go to work for himself. In Poland, guys who want to work in himself have such different special things to do that they don't want to do this. They want to work in good barbershop, in good place, and all paperwork, all taxes, all every stuffs. Maybe do someone else. For example, owner or a guy who owned the barber and cutting. What do you think about this? How can the young man understand it? And did you agree with me about this young guy must teach something and going to work himself, or he can work in some barbershop for example, all his career and be good too?
I mean, what is the goal for each barber, right? Like, I guess that's the question. It's like everyone has different goals. If you're trying to make, let's just put it this way, there's different paths for barbers. Some barbers don't care as much about making money. Everyone wants to make money, but some want to become educators, right? Some want to travel the world. There's a lot of barbers that value that. Some people don't want to travel around the world. They don't really care as much about, becoming educators, but they want to make a lot of money. They want to stay in their country or have, and some other people want to make a lot of money, but don't want to stay in one place and they want to move around, right? So there's three different type of
Category,
barbers,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
One barber maybe should focus on online products, right? They should maybe start building their brand up through marketing to be able to have like brand products underneath them to be able to sell like affiliates. The other barber should, if he wants to become an educator, in my opinion, should surround himself with the best people. Let's say you're in Poland. Who's the biggest educator in Poland, right? What can you do to add value to that individual? Because sometimes money is not enough. What other value can you add? Can you become an assistant for free? Can you shadow them all day? How can you provide value for that barber so then they feel like, okay, this is worth for this guy to come with me? Because look, if I'm the best educator in Poland, I probably have 100 people messaging me every day. What can I say? What can I do differently to be able to make it valuable for that individual to be like, okay, come with me, I'll teach you, right? And then the other one, I would say marketing and skill set. If you want to make a lot of money, then I would focus on the strategies, which is what I do. Get good at cutting hair, and then focus on different strategies to stand out, to raise your prices, to charge more, make more money.
Okay, this is right now you say the sentence which really for me understandable, that your mindset is completely, my friend, different from mindset barbers in Poland.
Right.
Because I will explain you if you want. Barbers in Poland thinking that because mostly of barbers in Poland thinking when they have some clients enough to grow in the price for their haircuts and make it more higher, that will be 100% for 100 years. The same
Like
situation.
it's never gonna happen.
Yes, this is the main problem. They think that I see in young people which come to our barber academy, they think that the work of barbering will be for 100 years, and all these clients will be with them 100 years.
Right.
This is the main problem. In the reason.
Well, that's a big problem.
Yeah, here it's a big problem.
I'll tell you why. I have the answer. I spoke to someone yesterday. Here's the thing. What is the other way out, right? So if you think that way, what is your way out? That means you're never going to grow. You're always going to stay the same. You might make a little bit more money because you're going to have more clients. But at the end of the day, you could only cut so many clients, right? Yeah. Because the other way to make money, if you're not going to raise your prices, is to do what? Cut more hair. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And at the end of the day, you only have this. Me and you have the same hours in a day. You can only do so many haircuts. Maybe you push yourself, instead of doing 20 haircuts, you do 25. Right? Yeah. Maybe you're like, fuck it, I'll add extra couple hours, right? Yeah. But how long is that gonna last before you burn out? And how much more money can you really make by the end of the month, right?
Yeah, it's like...
It's not gonna change.
Yes, but you see, the mindset of the young barbers right now in Poland, it's truly understandable because they want the money.
That's my point.
The people, yes, this is the point which I'm not agree. The people which you teaching and which you showing right now coming in industry not for the skills, not for the allowing this process.
We're talking about two different things though. We're talking about if someone wants to make more money. I'm not talking about someone wanting to get into the industry because of money. I'm talking about if you want to make more money, you're in this position. I'm talking about for those individuals, your way out is to charge more money, because you could only do so many haircuts. I'm saying that those people aren't gonna make that much more, and they're gonna burn themselves out to make a little bit more by doing more haircuts. So that's called a race to the bottom, because you can only do so many. So you have to raise your prices. And what do I mean by that? And I think people in Poland are being a lot more open-minded. I'm talking about the barbers that are already cutting hair for years, right? Not the new guys coming into the industry. Okay. Those guys, right? They're already being open-minded. I had a class yesterday. Two of the guys were saying that, they've been fully booked a month in advance. They can't get new clients. Yep. They're burnt out. They can't do more haircuts. And they know that they need to raise their prices, but they're afraid because Poland people, they think, aren't willing to pay them more, and they're too afraid to lose clients.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Right? So they need to lose clients, because that's going to allow them to have a gap in their schedule to attract new clients, because new clients, right, will not see them at their old prices. And then don't see a difference. Yeah, exactly. Because the service isn't going to change, right? Yeah. Service stays the same, but you're charging more. So that's why some people will be like, why would I pay more money for the same haircut? So those people will leave, but some people will value them, right? Yeah. And then what the goal is, you need a gap to be able to attract new people in. He's like, I don't have new clients. I'm like, why not? He's like, I'm too busy. Okay, cool. That's a good thing. You're already in a position that you should raise your prices, and you're realizing that you need to. The problem is they're too afraid to do it. because no one really does that in Poland.
Yeah. The main thing is that I see right now in the industry is that the people, the customers which come to our barbershop, we have 7 barbershop in Poland. They in 3 in Warsaw, in capital. So we orientality to high level rich guys I don't think that we have a bigger price than the rest of barbershop, but a little bit bigger.
Right.
Yeah, and we see the difference between 5 years when we 6 years between 6 years ago when we started this business, when we provide the new service, when we trying to not complain the suggests about what client want and what barber want to do with this haircut. And right now the clients have so much different information, there's so much different opinion about his haircut that they come to barbershop and say, make me like this. So my question next will be, why the clients choose this barber or other barber? What the main reason, what the magnets provide this new client to this place?
Versus like a expensive versus not expensive, right?
Yes, the premium segment and not premium segment.
I think there's many factors. One, you have to think of how do you attract them, right? Attracting comes from what? Marketing. Okay,
yeah.
So you attract
this
them.
Is you
through,
expert,
yes. So you attract them through marketing. Then the other problem is like, okay, you did great marketing, right? But there's a second problem. If your skill set and your service isn't top tier, you might get them in the door once, but if they don't like your service and they don't see the value in paying more money, they're gonna leave. The problem is, okay, we could grab them, but can you keep them?
Yeah, this is, but you see, in Poland, provide some trends, I think, right now in barbering. What I see in our barbershop too, that the before it's all difference, yeah. Relative, yeah. Before, like 5 years, 6 ago, the client come and client stand. They don't choose every month another barber. Right now, I see
they're loyal. You mean?
Yes, I see some not loyal trends because, for example, they a little bit bored to go in this place. They understanding that they can have the same service but for lower price.
Yeah.
What we can do right now in 2025 to make more loyalty from these clients and make more opportunity to keep him in this place.
Yeah. So I want to say I have the answer for that. I want to say that there's always going to be a client for every barber. Okay, I want you to understand that. It's like restaurants. There's always the guy at the restaurant or person that wants to go eat McDonald's. There's always someone that cares about fast food. They want fast, quick, right?
Yeah.
And cheap.
Yeah.
There's a guy that wants mid-tier. They want to pay $50, nice restaurant, nothing crazy. And there's always Michelin level clients. That means the market is never going to change for every barber to be a luxury barber charging $100. But there's always clients that are going to be willing to get the best of the best. There's always going to be clients for the people that want to get fast haircuts, cheap haircuts, that don't value haircuts. So there's always a market for those types of individuals, right? So the market isn't going to change to everyone be luxury barbers, right? The question is, if you're a barber wanting to charge those prices, what are the steps you need to take to get to that level? There's a big, long list of things that need to happen.
The 5 main target, what you recommend for this barber to choose to make this
to get
process,
to that level.
Yeah, to make this process easier.
It's a long journey, okay?
5 main points.
Skill set,
okay.
Marketing,
okay.
Business, leadership, like understanding how to raise your prices, how to do accounting, how to actually like understand the math, the numbers, right? To know when to raise your prices, right?
Okay.
Understand data.
Do you think every barber must be businessman?
I think so, because at the end of the day, they are businessmen, right? You're still doing your own taxes. For Canada, I don't know about Poland, I don't know how it works. If you're a commission shop, you're still having to manage your own money. You're still having to talk to your clients. That's your business at the end of the day. And this comes down to the loyalty part. Tracking data, right?
Okay.
So raising prices, business, skill set, marketing.
And
2 more, I'm trying to think. Those are 3 of the main ones we teach.
What
I think, you want to know the truth?
Yeah.
I think mindset, like being healthy, I think is a big one.
Do you think about the lifestyle?
Lifestyle, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think the main thing
Yeah, I think so.
why clients stay with you is your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You
Like
see,
not drinking, going into the gym, reading
Yeah,
books, like
yeah.
studying.
They have opportunity.
Look, you want to be the best, right?
Yeah.
It's like world-class soccer players, world-class basketball players.
Exactly.
You want to make
LeBron
that money?
James,
Yeah,
you know?
LeBron James.
Yeah,
Kobe Bryant.
He spent $1 million
On his
to
own
be in
train.
shape.
Yeah, and I think another one is investing.
Investing. Let's talk about investing. This is very interesting things.
Wait, I want to talk about something as well before
Okay.
we get into that. So you said, how do you keep loyal clients?
Yeah.
I think how many barbers are messaging their clients after a haircut, asking them how their experience was?
Right now, for example, I can say you about our barbers, which work in my company. It's like 37 people
Yeah.
right now. We have we make it automatically.
Okay, automated.
Yeah, we make input. We ask systems, sysadmins
That's
to
good,
input feedbacks,
So
message.
rather than the business, I think there could be more, because what are we losing right now in 2025? We're losing connection, right? There's
Loyalty.
everything digital. We're losing like the connection. That's why communities and running clubs are doing so well, because we're so much in the digital world that people don't feel a connection with the people they're working with.
But you know why they don't feel it? Because no loyalty. We're
Right.
losing the humanity.
But this is what exactly humanity. So I think the barber needs to be, as much as the automations are good, especially look, if you're running a business, I think you need to have this. But I think for the individuals, like if we're talking to the barbers, not the business owners, I think those people should also message them to build a stronger relationship with the client, right? So sending a voice note, asking for referrals, right? Because here's the thing, or like giving them credits, right? Let's say I cut your hair, you're a client, and you love the haircut. I'm like, hey dude, just checking in, how's the haircut? Were you able to style it? Teaching them how to style, educating them on their own hair, and then being like, dude, if you give me 2 clients, I'll give you the next one for free. Okay, now you're
This is
building a
marketing,
rapport.
yeah?
Yeah, that's marketing as well. That's building a rapport, and you're like, wow, this guy not only messaged me, not only taught me how to style my own hair, gave me an incredible service, and he's willing to give me free haircuts if I tell my friends about it, which I will, because I love the haircut.
Everything what you say right now, it's providing by us right now to our services, and I'm truly kindly glad that I'm hearing from you, the guy from 3,000 miles from here, that we make the same way here in Europe, in Poland, and we trying to show that the barber, what I think, you may agree or you will say about you, this opinion, the barber, it's but barbershop and barber, it's not place just for haircut. It's like therapy place, it's like psychological place.
Well, let me say this much. It can be a place for just haircuts. I'm gonna go back to my point and you're gonna understand what I mean. It can be a place where just haircut, no one gives a shit about, and it's just quick money. But if you want to make a lot of money, 10, 15,000, these are the steps required. And if you're listening to this, right, and you're like, that's not the barber I want to be, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't have the expectation that you're going to make more money if you don't follow these steps.
Yeah.
This is where the problems lie. The problems lie, they have this expectation of, I need to make 10, 15,000 or whatever. Let's just say 10,000, because I still believe you could probably make that much in Poland. If you're the best of the best.
It's average, you know,
Sure.
from 10,000
Yeah.
to wherever you want.
Whatever, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's limitless. If you find the clients they're willing to pay, whatever.
Yeah, I have execute one things I will tell you. In all history, we have like 6 years history in barbershop. The high paycheck, what I see, it was my friend in Poland. Remember, we are living in Poland, not in Canada. In Poland, it was $1,000 per one haircut.
Okay.
Yeah,
There you
some
go.
guy. So I will not provide
Yeah.
this history because it's secret, and this guy will
kill
understand
you.
in
He will kill
who
you.
is this.
Yeah.
But he pay one from my barber,
the-
$1,000 per haircut.
But there you go. Here's the thing. This is my point. I think what needs to, this is limiting beliefs. Because I hear this all the time. Bro, let me put it this way. I do believe you can make 10, 15,000 in Poland.
No.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because someone in Malaysia could do it, someone in Poland could do it. One of our students in Malaysia, an average haircut in Malaysia is $10, right? Like, why are we feeding this? But here's the thing, I want you to understand, the new barber wanting to get into the industry for money, don't do it for money. If you want to just make money and you don't care about the craft, you don't care about the industry itself, you're not passionate about it, if you want to make money, don't get into barbering, get into sales, do something else.
Why you don't say it on your course? Why you don't say it in internet? I research, believe me, I prepare for this conversation very well. I research a lot of videos. I spend, I think, 10 hours to look at everything about what you say.
Good
but
question.
You never say about this.
So then you didn't do your research, because I say 10, 15,000 as the hook. Then what happens? It's clickbaity. Everyone does it. You get, and then you watch the VSL. That is a video sales letter. What happens there? Then I'm like, you need to do step A, B, C, D, E. By the time they go, guess what happens? They don't want to jump on a call. Why? Because we're not catering to everyone.
No, my friend. I think because your marketing, it's provide a little bit scam for the young people that the young man. For example, I give you an example from my practice. The young man which is studying for electricity, he wanna be electric, yeah.
Right.
He wanna provide some cables, work in big factories and like this. Come to me in some days and say, "Wow, Alex, yesterday I was in our restaurant and our pub with your barber, and he say, man, what the fuck you doing? Let's make some course for you, and you will make take a check like 10,000, 15,000 per month. You don't need it to have this blow job for execution.
Well, here's the thing, right?
And you provide this young man.
No.
You clean their mind, yeah, Alex. I think so.
So here's the thing: if it's a scam, then how do we get the results we get? One, two. At the end of the day, like what I said, it can't be a scam until they get through the process. It's only a scam if they go and invest and they're like, Alex didn't provide bullshit. Anything in life, this is how marketing works. Marketing 101. How do you get eyeballs, right, first? And then once you get the eyeballs, how do you show value for them to buy the product? So it can't be a scam. It's like, sure, maybe the hook initially gets their attention, like, oh, 10, 15,000. And then you watch the content and you're like, okay, wow, this is a long journey for me to get to where I'm at. I've never, ever said you're gonna make 10, 15,000 right away the second you buy our program.
How much, this is my next question, how much people, for your statistic right now, makes 10,000 and more per month
From my program?
From your program, yeah. How much students, yeah?
Right now, about 50%.
50%?
Yeah.
And they live where?
US.
US, yeah. Okay, so I see average statistics in US, it's like $10,000 per month. So it's
No, not average.
No average?
No way, man.
No? How look like your
Average is 3,000.
3,000?
3 to 4. Yeah.
So you
actually a lot less. Yeah.
Your market looks like that $3,000 per month is a good price, yeah?
No, it's not that 3,000 is good. That's the average of like the salary of a barber in America.
Really? Yeah. It's my friend, it's like in Poland.
Exactly.
But you have the price more higher, I think, in America, no?
What do you mean?
Haircut costs, for example, $100
But
more.
it's also relative, right? Like, prices in America to live are probably a little bit more. Again, I don't know. I don't want to speak on Poland. I haven't done the research, so I don't want to give misinformation. I don't know the cost of living here, but I would say there's a lot other factors as well, right? For me, it's like 10, 15,000 sounds good, right?
Okay.
But what are we keeping at the end? What's profits? That's another
taxes,
after taxes and stuff, right? So, yeah, hard to say, but that's another factor. Yeah.
Okay, my next question will be, what the main things in 2025 in industry you looking for? So what you are expecting in 2025, 26 years, probably 3 years more in the industry? What you looking for? What you expecting to going? For example, I will give you maybe in industry come robots. Everything will electricity.
I think AI will play a big factor in our industry. I'll say this much. I think we're living in an age now that's going to be very, very, like, things are going to grow very fast. Okay, so 2 things. I think information is going to be a lot more accessible. 1, I think barbers are going to grow a lot quicker, like, based on information. I think there's going to information is gonna be a lot more accessible, like online education, right? You won't have to fly to a different country to learn certain skill sets because a lot more people are gonna do online education. So it's gonna be a lot easier to learn through education. I think marketing will be easier. I think with AI, I think video editing is gonna be easier, graphic design is gonna be easier. So I think there will be a point where like you're gonna just take the videos and everything's gonna be done on the back end. It's already done. I mean, another one is it's already happening is if you do content on YouTube, right? You post on YouTube, you could do it in 17 different languages, right? You won't have to use subtitles, like things like that. But I think a big one is gonna be editing for marketing for barbers will be a huge factor because a lot of barbers struggle with editing content.
Okay, what my next question it will be what the main trends in haircut you think will be in 25, 26? The main trends.
Fuck, that's a good one.
Okay, I will give you easier. Are we going to the classic way
Alright.
or we going to the modern way? Where are we going? Because right now I see that history is
Repeat
repeating.
itself, yeah. I think the best way to always see where the trends are headed towards is look at the catwalk shows, look at Prada, Louis Vuitton. These big brands are always like ahead of the curve, right? And then we follow, like the consumer market follows those big brands. So
So the main trend.
I think the main trend will most likely go back to classic. I really think that, yeah. I think we'll eventually. But again, it's so hard to tell. I don't know, but I think maybe classic. Because we had an era like last year, 2 years ago, was punk, 60s, 70s, shag, mullet, like creative looks. I think maybe we go back to classic. Yeah.
Okay. For the future, your customers and for the people who will watch this podcast
Yeah.
in Poland, maybe you will catch some customers from Poland
Right.
after this podcast. Tell us about what the main things what you can give from you to in your course and how look like in basic line how look like your course for the barbers.
Yeah. So this is the thing. We launched something recently because we have a program that's quite expensive. That's the coaching. But we're like, because we truly believe we have a really good product. Like we do believe our online program is really good, hence the testimonials. So we have an $80 a month program. It's just the course videos, so you have access to it. In those videos, we go through everything that we spoke about. So we have data tracking. We teach them how to do tracking properly. We have skill set videos, about 60 videos of like cutting different styles, modern haircuts. And we have theory and branding videos. So knowing exactly what type of content to post them, how to shoot them, how to edit them. So
And it's all cost 18
maybe about $80 a month. Yeah.
Okay.
So they could, here's the thing. That's why we did it, because you could also, if you don't like the product, cancel it, right? At least you'll know with $80, is this good or is this bullshit, right?
Okay.
That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be like, we believe in our product, come inside and see yourself.
It is not a secret how much customers you have right now.
About 800.
800
Not at 80 though. We have a different program.
okay.
Yeah.
And all programs, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the end of our interview, because it's going to the end,
Yeah.
I wanna ask you some things about your traveling experience.
Right. That's long.
We understanding that you travel a lot. You
Yeah.
educate in, I think I saw 12 countries
where you was before, and tell me, barber, it's professional where you can travel a lot, where you can spend your free time in new country, making the same things what you're doing in your country, and for you, traveling it's like recreation, or you competitive with your work right now?
You're asking if I hang out?
You traveling just because you somebody invited, or you traveling without your work?
No, it's all work related. Yeah.
All work,
so
yeah?
like today I'm obviously in Poland. Tomorrow I go to Romania for a show. Unfortunately, it's not glamorized. Like a lot of barbers, if you want to get into education, like this is probably a lot more hard work than people expect it to be, because it's back-to-back flights for work and you don't get to see the country. Like I wish I had more time, but I have to get back to work in Romania. So obviously there's good and bad. Like I don't want people to give the false hope that it's like, oh, I get to travel and see the world. You don't really get to do that. You get to experience talking to different people. And I think what's really powerful and the reason why I like doing this is just connections, relationships. That's the thing that I value most about traveling.
Yeah. But you agree that this frame, this picture in internet, in Instagram, that education today is in Toronto, tomorrow in New York, and something like this, the people understanding that it's very cool, the young people, very cool, and they understand that, okay, he goes some talking 2 minutes, 10 minutes shooting, something like this, and free time. Tell for our customers, is this true, or this is just some false things which provided by this educator from US? Yeah.
Well, look, everyone in the world, from any business, when they promote on Instagram, they see only a fraction of the reality of the situation, right? It's only a couple seconds, a minute. You don't get to see the full picture. So you don't realize what the actual truth is behind the scenes of like how that person, what he's doing, right? Like,
really true.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if I was in New York, you don't really know like what's actually happening. Yeah. They don't know that it was a business meeting and we were talking about business. Like you don't know if I didn't sleep because I was traveling. So a lot of the times, but here's the thing, I don't want to do this. I don't want to crush anyone's dream. I think every barber, if that's something that they wanted, go ahead, dream big. I think that's still important for us to instill in young people, that you could achieve anything you want in life. It's very important to say that, because at the end of the day, the new generation needs to know that we need to keep pushing the boundaries of our industry. Yeah. We can't crush people's dreams, right? We need to keep pushing them. Let them dream bigger than that. Why not travel around the world plus some, right? Why not charge more money? Like, we need to keep pushing this industry forward. And I think this is what we need to instill in the new generation, right?
Yeah.
With accuracy of what's going to happen and the truth behind how it works, right? But a lot of the times, here's another thing. You could tell them all this, but you will not know because you need to experience it yourself. You could tell someone, hey, dude, you're going to make all this money, but at the end of the day, or you got to do this, like you give them good advice, but their best lessons are what? From real experiences. So they have to go through the experiences themselves.
Through the deep water, yeah.
Deep water. Yeah.
You see, you are the young guy, yeah. I'm a little bit older than you, I think, and you right now understanding this fact that everything going slowly, education and through the process, yeah.
Right.
Through the process. The problem right now will be about last question, Mike. Why the youngest generation don't through the process? Why they going forward, for example, 1-2 years, and then bullshit or say, barbering is for lazy people or something like this.
Here's the thing that's important to say, like, we can't generalize, like it's not everyone that's like this.
It's mostly statistical what I see in our academy.
Right.
They come, my friend, they pay the ridiculous amount of money
to
learn this course, the basic course, because it's really, be honest, it's basic course. Yeah. They come for 30 days to learn how it looks like.
Well, I'll say this much. I think it's not their fault they're young, right? You have to understand this. They're young, they don't have enough experiences, and they don't know the reality of the situation. Us, we've been in the industry for such a long time. We understand how it works. They don't understand how it works. And that's why I say, like, they have to be willing to spend the money, right? They have to be willing to be like, you know, they have to be willing to spend the money, not learn anything because it was their fault, not yours, not your academy. And they have to be like, oh shit, I just spent all that money and now I didn't learn it. They need to get upset over that. And they need to go through this process consistently.
But tell me, why for example, 50% of all starting barbers quit? Why?
I think that it goes across the world, like 50% of people quit. You know, what are the percentages of people that keep winning in life?
Okay, I'll give you another example. For example, I provide some business tool which educate guys, engineers, yeah? 10 engineers, young engineers come to me to teach how to fix it something, and 10, my friend, after course, going and fix it. Going and do this job.
Right.
We provide the course, you and me, and us, our other educator. They provide this course, and the people come for this course, and 5, in good statistics, 5 people go to industry
because of engineering. You're saying from the engineering world.
No, the 5 people from course barbering
go
in way barbering.
go away from barbering.
Yes,
They don't do barbering.
Five do barbering, 5 don't do.
Don't do barbering. Yeah.
They after 1 year. 1 year, it's like the term where the young barber understanding if they need this or not.
So you're saying why 50%?
Why? Why they quit?
I mean, dude, I think that's not barbering's fault. I think that's people in general, right? I think people in general just realize, like, they go for a year and then they realize it's not for them. Maybe they don't like the aspect of cutting. Maybe they don't like certain aspects of barbering, right? I think that's just reality of life. I don't think there's anything more we could do. I think that's people in general.
Guys, today we have Alex with us on podcast Człowiek Dzieła in Poland. He come to understanding how works, I think, Polish barbering and show how works Canadian and USA barbering. Provide our people to this world of barbering in the ocean, nearly 3,000 miles, for example, and show us how marketing is important things in barbering. The last couple words from you to our customers, to our clients, which potentially want to buy some courses, buy some education stuff, some couple words from you, and we will finish.
I mean, it doesn't matter what education you buy. I think investing in general is very important. I think you guys should all invest in yourselves to get to a position you want to be in. And I think what's really helped me in my career is like feeling uncomfortable, right? Anytime you're faced with adversity, anytime you're faced with a big challenge, run towards that. I think that's kind of what I've instilled in my life. Anytime I've been afraid of something, every time there's been a challenge in front of me, a big a block or whatever you want to call it, I've always ran towards it. And I think a lot of you guys know what you need to do. It's just a lot of the fears stop you from doing it. So run towards your dreams.
Yeah, it's a good conversation. Thank you, Alex, for your time. Thank you for all people who will watch this podcast on our channel. Subscribe, please, and follow us. It will be more interesting. The much more people will interview today, and see you soon. Bye.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir.
It was pleasure, my friend.